Hey, friends, welcome to another episode of Refire. I'm Pastor Eric Krahansel, and I'm the Continuing Education Director for Acts Ministry and, of course, the ABCOPAD region and how we serve and try to help pastors and lay leaders develop their ministry where they are in their local setting. And today I'm really excited because I have an old friend with me. We've known each other for a long time. It's been a long, long time. And so I'm going to share with you a full view here. This is Ray Garcia. And so, Ray, we're looking at that camera right there at this moment. Oh, there you go. You go. Yeah, yeah. So this is Ray Garcia. Ray's with the Philly Project, and just excited that he can be here to talk. But he's also the pastor at Roxborough Presbyterian Church, right? And but we've known each other for years. He's also an Eastern College, correct? Right. College graduate at the time. And has been very influential in a lot of people's lives that have come out of the ministry at Eastern as well. And of course, a lot of them connect into the Philly Project where he is in Roxborough, which is not far from Eastern, probably only 15, 20 minutes, right?
20 minutes, yeah.
20 minutes. So I'm excited, Ray, that you're here, and I'm really thankful that you could be a part of this time as well. So, Ray, tell me something. Tell me a little bit just about you, about your family and what you're doing right now, where you've been, all that stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, going back to the Eastern College thing, I was that class that was right on the border. And so my class really graduated in 01. I graduated early in 2000. And so we had the option of our degree saying college or university. So we were that last group in that setting. But since then I've been doing ministry in the Philly area. So I came over to the Philly region in 97 to go to Eastern. Been over there ever since. And since 2010, I have been in the Northwest section of Philadelphia specifically. So serving at Roxborough Church and the Philadelphia Project. Beautiful wife named Michelle. We've got 4 kids. Michelle's also an Eastern grad. And we have 4 kids. Our oldest is 15, and then they're every 2 years after that, 15, 13, 11, and 9. And so doing really well. Matter of fact, right now, we left a 15-year-old in charge at home. We said, hey, hold the fort down. So we'll see how that goes when I get back.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And so I was just thinking too, like, I know through, I was thinking back the other day about when I actually first met you.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was like Breakaway.
It was.
And I don't know what year it was. It was like,
I think my first Breakaway was 98.
98.
Yeah.
Okay. So for history about Breakaway, for those of you who don't know what that is, my brother Chris and I started this middle school retreat, large event retreat that we did with students, and we invited a lot of churches to come on board. Yep. And we would run it up at that time, it was run up at Young Life Camp Lake Champion in New York.
Yep.
And so that's how we met you, and first time. And
when did y'all start that?
It would have been 97.
Yeah. So I was there year 2.
Yeah.
Year 2.
Yeah. It would have been 97 when we started it. And then I was a part of it through 2005-ish.
Okay.
And then that's when I stopped, maybe 2006, but that's when I stopped. But then it got taken over by a bunch of great folks. And so I was really excited about it continuing. And to this day, I have people who come up to me and say, wait, are you the guy that started it? And it's so funny. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, I'm proud of lots of things, but there's some things I'm not, But yeah, so that's good. That's how we got to know each other through there. And then also through your work at Philly Project, but connecting with what we're doing at Camp Ichthus.
That's right. Yep.
And you folks were coming up to do retreats for your staff, staff training.
Yep.
But also you guys helped us with some work around the camp too. Yep. So it was a mix of things. So that was awesome. And I was really appreciative of that too, as well. And so one of the reasons I asked Ray to be with us today was because I really wanted to talk more about what he's doing with the Philly Project.
Yeah.
But also how you folks can connect with the Philly Project. But not only that, how we can even do the work we need to do in our own backyards and doing ministry as well. And so, Ray, I was just thinking about this more. Before we dive into that, what is your history with the Philly project, like how did that all begin and start?
Yeah. All right. So my wife and I founded the Philadelphia Project. So we started it in 2010, January 21st, 2010 was the official launch of the Philadelphia Project. Um, but to understand it, kind of go backwards from there. So uh, I was I came to know Jesus at 16,
Okay.
and at 17 I asked what would be at 17 I asked what would be the influential question
Yeah.
for the Philadelphia Project, which is if God can transform our lives, why isn't He transforming our communities, our neighborhoods?
Yeah, nice.
So I probably wasn't. It probably wasn't as as eloquent when I said it at 17 years old, but I was asking that question. It was like, hey, God just radically changed my life overnight when I came to know Him, but my world around me was still falling apart, and so I was trying to make sense of that, and then went off to Eastern and started studying at Eastern and started asking people at college the same questions, like sitting with Duffy, sitting with Tony, asking people like that, like, hey, like, how come God isn't changing the world around the church? The church seems to be taking shape. Why isn't the world around it changing? And that question just really sat with me. Went off to do youth ministry, was in the youth ministry world for about 15 years in total and serving in youth ministry, and kept taking students all over the place doing mission trips and seeing pockets of transformation happen, but still coming back to a neighborhood that was broken. And even though our church was thriving, our neighborhood was still falling apart. And so I was asking this question, and ultimately it was from that question that God kind of laid it on my heart to say, well, wait a minute, what does it look like to help the church embark on local mission to see their neighborhoods transformed? And so that's from that is really where the Philadelphia Project began. And so I was serving as a youth director in Jenkintown at that time, and I had finished seminary, and the elders of the church came to me and offered my wife and I the chance to sponsor us to center down in Philadelphia and start this ministry. And so with one child at home, we said yes, and we intentionally left the burbs, moved into the neighborhood in the city of Philadelphia, and put down our roots. And so from that is really how we got started.
That's awesome. And isn't there a Pittsburgh project?
There is. So yeah, people ask this question a lot, like what is the connection or what does that mean? So the Pittsburgh Project, influential in many, there's probably about 20 organizations, Philadelphia Project included, that would say they have some of their model that comes from the inspiration of the Pittsburgh Project.
Okay.
The Pittsburgh Project has since shifted. They no longer do missions. They're now a neighborhood ministry, serving their immediate community, but still doing great work in the north side of Pittsburgh. But yeah, there's organizations kind of scattered across our country that have some roots traced back to an experience they had in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious because I think some people, I want to get that because some people might have that. Because Because of course the churches that I work with are like, we work with, I should say, our denomination is literally from Delaware all the way over to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So when you're talking, I want them to know if they hear that Philadelphia Project, to go, what about Pittsburgh Project?
Yep, that's right.
That's the only reason I was asking.
Yeah, matter of fact, very recently, the Pittsburgh Project reached out to their former groups that were coming to them and said, hey, if you're still looking to do missions, head to Philly.
Awesome.
And so, yeah.
I love it.
Good connection.